Okay, so out of interest, have either of you been able to catch up with things that have been on the Facebook group?
Really?
No.
So there was so Carrie Ann and I had quite a meaty one. I think that was week 41. We did loads of tools, didn't we? You know, giving metaphors and things that I give to my clients, NLP techniques, which I think you probably know quite a few of, Gary, anyway. Spin technique. You're on mute. You've muted yourself.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, and that is actually very useful for people because we're looking to validate people and make them feel as though they're heard. There's nothing worse, I can only imagine, that somebody who has been an adult, I would say had a job, brought children up, and whatever age they may be when they get their diagnoses, because there's more and more 40-year-olds getting diagnosed nowadays, I've just heard. Now being told that they're wrong, you don't feel like that. It's like, that reminds us of a child, this, I've just heard this. No, you haven't. Yeah, I have. Or it's that whole thing of just being not validated. So when we do that spin technique, we are getting them to feel it. That's why it's so good. It's okay. Really feel into that. Really do that. What color is it? What is it? Yeah, tell us more. So it's like really winding it up. Then stop.
Yeah.
Then it's like, unwind it. And it actually does change because it's such a massive pattern interrupt. And then it's like, it starts to unravel. But we have validated somebody. And I think that is one of the most important things that we can do with people. Okay. How are you getting on with reading the book?
Not started yet.
Have you got the book?
Yeah.
Good. Have you got the book?
Yeah. So it's on my desk here somewhere, buried under lots.
It is actually very useful. There's something in here that he's got. It's called the CAR approach, and that is communication. Always, we know that communication is a core pillar of anything, of life, of a relationship, of just anything. Communication is key, which can lead to obviously then somebody's attitude and then their response. That if you do not have the book, I will just hold that bit up to you so you can see that bit.
CAR approach.
Yeah, I don't want to read the book to you because you can buy it and read it and have it as your
I know I have it in my notes, but what is the name of the book again?
It's called A Clinician's Guide to Non-Pharmacological Dementia Therapies. Dr. Daniel Nightingale. And they developed this, and it's and it, again, it's always about valuing people, giving people choice. This it's just very helpful to keep on compounding what we know. And again, I mean, communication for you, Gary, when you're seeing people on the oncology side, again, you're validating them, you're hearing them and all their worries and concerns and fears, and it's like, and it sucks, and it hurts and it's painful, and it's the you know, it does go hand in hand. A lot of I can only imagine the roller coaster of emotions that people feel when they get a cancer diagnosis. As you know, it will be similar to a I don't actually know because I've never had either. But but again, the knock-on effect on the family members, because it's like and in America, of course, for both, it's huge because of the financial strain. In England, there's the National Health Service, but even that, so many people are going private because it takes so long, and it's a lottery for the postcode, which is zip code, Carrie-Anne, you know, whether you're going to get certain drugs to help you. And it's and I think that will probably end up being the same with any of the dementia things. So people are going to be paying privately. So, you know, people may well have this expectation of how their life will be. And same with a cancer, comes at any age, doesn't it?
Yep.
So it's you know, it doesn't say, oh, now you're 60, I'm going to, you know, start throwing these things at you. No, it can come way before then. I've lost many a friend to cancer. I'm sure you both have as well. So it's yeah, it sucks. And so what can we do? And we can validate people by agreeing with them, and that's the communication, because sometimes people can't always tell their loved ones really how they feel, because they have to be the brick, or they don't want to worry them. So for a man, they will often and you know, if I'm being sexist and somebody's getting upset with me, you know, it's just what it is. But I know that a lot of men are they feel as though they cannot be vulnerable to their spouses. They have to be the strong one, and so they suck it up and they suppress their emotions. And so it's so sometimes if they are talking to us, we can be the only ones that they can really say what they feel like and their fears, and we have to sit with it and be okay with it. You know, it's sometimes the person living with dementia does just want to speak to you on their own and not have their other person, their family there, because they want to say what it really feels like. And I'm sure you'll get that all the time, Gary. People sharing, but again, you're in a hospital environment. Do you get that long?
I only see I don't tend to see the partners. So
okay, you don't see the partners anyway. No.
Okay, well, I sometimes I do, because we can treat them as well. So sometimes they've got issues, so we work with them. But funnily enough, it's unusual that I see both. Typically I would see one or the other. You know, a partner would come for something, so I would work with them, or I would work with the patient. It's very rare that I work with both.
Yeah. So I got called by a friend of mine the other day. Her finally got the mother-in-law and the father-in-law to move into this state, and half an hour away from them. The mother has stage 6 Alzheimer's, and is fearful of her husband. Now, when she goes round, so she's called me up, and there's not necessarily a great deal I can do unless they get me in, but because the father won't have anything to do with it, and he has to be on board. But he apparently, they had a very unhappy marriage. It's almost like the wrong person got dementia, if you like. Although he might have got very angry, I don't know, but he is not nice to her. And whenever my friend goes round, she just cries.
Right.
Please take me with you. Please take me with you. I don't know who he is. I don't know what. And it's, and she works, and it's, you know, she was saying she doesn't know what to do. And they can't afford a home. So he has to be her caregiver. This lady living with dementia is frightened of him. And he has to help dress her because she puts things on back to front. And it's, so my friend was saying, you know, I don't know what to do. And I'm, you know, I said, I wonder what, if you could have her in your home. There is some days maybe, you know, you could get some caregivers in and be with her during the day, and then somebody else can, you know, maybe his sister can do one day, you could do one day, and then the rest of the time it's the you know, care people coming in, because there are people who just come and sit, because I think she's okay, but she just needs somebody there so that she doesn't leave the house and go out.
Yeah.
Now, or in company. So it's very sad, isn't it?
You know, we have here in Prescott, I think there might be two. I know one for sure, a daycare for them, where you can drive them to the daycare, or they'll even come and pick them up in a bus like they're going to school, and they go to the daycare for the day.
Yeah.
My neighbor in back, that's what she did with her husband.
So there you go. So that leads me on to making sure. So I'm going to actually, as you just said, going to find some more resources, because I didn't have that in my list of as a resource.
Yeah, that's really powerful here.
Yeah. Because I've
Well,
never had anybody not like their caregivers before.
Funny story like that. I mean, he didn't have dementia, but my grandfather lived with me many, many years ago. And he was 94 when he passed away. So he was in his sort of, lived with me for probably about 10 years. So sort of his mid 80s to his mid 90s. He was very dodgy on his feet. He couldn't walk very much, and he was then blind. So he couldn't really do much, but he would still try and be as independent as possible. And he used to have the sort of district nurse used to come around twice a day and sort of do things, and he had Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels was quite funny because he always had a big appetite, so he ordered 2 Meals on Wheels every day because one wasn't enough. It was only tiny portions. That was one, but and he used to say because he couldn't see, he was getting bored, and you know, at home, because I was out at work, and so it was when I was in industry. And I remember one of the nurse sort of said, "Oh, there's a day centre not far from here." She said, "Oh, it's down there," and she said, "You know, you have a cup of tea and cake, and you play games and sing songs and this, that, and the other, and people read to you and do all this sort of thing." And she mentioned it to me and said, "Oh, you know, it might be good for him, sort of." So see if you can perhaps sort of persuade him that he might like it. And I remember sort of talking to him, and he just very bluntly turned around and said, "What do I want to go there for? It's just full of old people."
Yeah, brilliant. And so he never went.
No, he didn't. No,
And he couldn't even
he was in
see.
his late 80s and he didn't want to go because it was just full of old people.
There you go. You can't help everybody.
No.
But it's about having those resources. So actually, all of us need to have a list of resources. But yeah, you're right. I've got people who I know will come in to help with you know, lifting and moving and toileting and things like that, you know, dressing and washing. But I hadn't needed to have someone like, because all my care, everybody so far has been loved their person they're with. I don't mind saying this is the first time I've had somebody be so scared of somebody. And of course he would never call me. He's had my other, you know, you've got the free e-guide. He's had that, he's never used it. He's not interested. So we know, and it's interesting because she said to her husband, they were there, and she doesn't like to, because it's not her dad. So she said, looks at her husband sometimes, and she says, like that, say something, and he's reluctantly says something to his dad about the way he's treating his mum. And she has said to them, she said to her husband, she goes, what hold has he got over you? Now, we all know it's that whole transactional analysis thing of he's at his mum and dad's, and when he's there, he goes back into a little boy.
Yeah.
And you don't mess with your dad. You don't point out that your dad has got something wrong or might like to do something differently. So it's been very tricky, and same for the sister as well. It's like, I don't think he was a very nice man, and now she has got stage 6 dementia, and she's with him, and they've moved, so she's going to be even more confused. Because when we know what it's like trying to find, I mean, I know she's not driving, but it's like, you've got to find your way for a bit, haven't you? When we go to a new hotel that very first day, and it takes us a bit, but she's going to be in that new hotel bit for a good 3 or 4 months. Where's the bathroom? Where's this? Where's that? Where's that kept? What's going on? And of course, she probably hasn't even unpacked. So she doesn't know where anything is.
Yeah.
Compared to the other home where she had probably been putting things away all the time. So we can see how confusing it is, and how
absolutely.
And how scary. So that whole word communication, and the only thing she knows what to do is to cry. I just hope that my friend can, because she is very soft-hearted, I hope she can take her. She says we'll come around as often as we can, but for somebody living with dementia, she's forgotten as soon as she said that. She'll forget. She just is in this place, so strange place,
alone too.
Yeah,
because she will forget.
Yeah. And so even if they look at photograph albums to remind her that's who she married, well, she didn't like him. It was an unhappy marriage.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's terrible.
So we have to, but I really like that, Carrie-Anne, that actually there must be some day places that they can
check it out, because if they have them here, we're not that big metropolis of a city or anything. I'm sure they have them other places too. And I know that was a godsend for Kay back here. And eventually she had to have him in an institution. But that was really helpful for her.
Yeah. And again, because if he wasn't very nice anyway, this person, this man, and then his way of life has changed, and he has to be the carer.
Yeah.
We can potentially only imagine, and if she, what's going on. And like I say, she just doesn't really know. She can't verbalize it. It's just the feeling she gets, and it's horrible. But that's anyway, it breaks my heart. So make sure we all have a list. So have that list by your, as a little thing on your notes or wherever it is. It's like, call it neurocognitive disorder help. Could be what else might we want to help somebody? Could be a mobile hairdresser. Could be somebody who comes around and does nails, if it's a woman, or again for a man, mobile hairdresser. So they don't have to leave the house and go out. They might like the little trip out, and that's fine. So if they're able to do that, because that's a little outing. However, if they're then unable to do that sort of thing, then we get people round. But again, that still becomes a change. Anything that's a change is good. Anything that's different. And again, so what else might we want people to have? I think that daycare place is really useful. A cleaning company, if they can come and help the carers clean the house once, even if it's once a month, once every 6 weeks, so that it's just cleaned. Because it's just we want to if they've got pets, then we get cockroaches. They get quite big cockroaches over here in America. Do you have cockroaches?
No.
You get scorpions.
We do. We're in a different I haven't really seen scorpions in the house. We had quite an issue with ants a couple years ago. And we're just kind of, because it's very sandy, the soil is rock hard, but it's sandy as well. And so we get a lot of ants.
And they're fire.
In fact, I think there's a big anthill in our crawl space in our house.
Yeah, they have
of some kind. But we had to take care of those. But mostly inside, I just use the little things. But yeah, we don't have that. We do have some spiders. We can see a lot of spiders too.
Yeah, and in England, you get lots of mice.
And we get rats.
Nice. Gary's got rats. They
get in.
Well, in Michigan,
they get into the basement and they get into the loft sometimes. So I have to have traps in the walk space in the loft.
Because they crawl up.
Yeah, they go up through the I think the 2 sets of bricks, and they go up and they get in.
And they can chew through cement.
They get in there, so I have to have traps there.
Yeah.
And all you need is a hole just so their head can fit
and
through.
there's so many holes that they can get in easy, and they do get in both in the basement and the loft. We tend to about 2 or 3 times a year, one will come in and possibly breed, because you'll put the traps there and you'll catch 6 or 7 within about 10 days, and then there's nothing again for months.
Yeah.
I'm not keen on rats.
No, and they chew through the cement. My husband was helping a friend once. He had markets downtown Detroit and kind of the inner city. And he, found this big hole, and, he's telling me, got this big hole over here in the cement. I'm going to go get some. He says, oh, that's the rats. And he said, what did they like? Snicker bars. And there was something else that they liked, that they would come in and eat. But they would literally chew through the cement. He said, you put cement, he said, that's a good idea, but they'll chew through in a couple days.
You need metal mesh in the cement.
That's what it.
Yeah, we had a problem here in our utility room a couple of years ago that I keep crisps in there, sort of potato chips in there, and I went out one day and there was about 2 or 3 bags that were empty, and it was in a multi-pack. And I thought, this is strange, they're completely empty. And funnily enough, they were all meat flavored ones. And I thought, this is really bizarre. And I looked at it, and then there was about 8 or 9. And then I found some rat droppings, and I moved the dishwasher, not the dishwasher, the washing machine, and they'd actually chewed through a hole in the door, actually through the wooden back door. They just actually chewed through it. So I've had to put mesh along the bottom of the door.
Really don't like rats. It's from reading that James Herbert book when I was 14 years old. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, these things, that's why the houses need to be cleaned. So we need to give
Yeah.
them, because you know, if family aren't going around and then it's suddenly they, oh my gosh, you know, it's that this can happen. Okay. We need to know. We need to make sure that people are okay, are being kept clean and safe and nurtured, because there are we've all seen, you know, the houses that and then of course there's like the hoarding and lots and lots of piles of everything, and what's underneath that,
Yeah.
you know. Oh,
Is that common? Is that common with dementia, hoarding? Is that kind of an aspect of it?
I would think it's a personality trait anyway, but it's certainly not going to get any better.
Yeah.
There's certainly not going to be any throwing away, because there's just the whole forgetting bit. And then plus we also have to remember, haha, that people who have things around them keeps them reminded, grounded as well, of who
Mhm.
they are. So
Yeah.
they might like to
Mhm.
have all these things about,
Mm.
you know. It's like if somebody suddenly took away all your certificates behind you, Carrie Ann,
Yeah.
and said, oh no, you're not allowed to work anymore, you're not allowed to do it, so I'm taking these away. Well, it's diminished your identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the same, somebody say going around, oh, we're tidying up you know, grandma's house or my dad's house, or whatever age somebody is, and they're not allowed to have their toys or their things around them that remind them of who they are.
Mhm. Sure.
They kind of lose, they lose a grounding
And they lose more of their identity too.
even more. So if somebody is decluttering, it has to be, you know, it's better to do it at the beginning, and then you can take photographs of things. That's a
Mhm.
good way of keeping people, you know, that they have, that did belong to them, but they just don't need to have it anymore. Because of course, if they are moving from their house to a home, you can't take everything.
Mhm.
So it's taking photographs of things, so that these are all your memories of your life, of your books, of this, of that, because it's all a loss. We know they're just stuff, but it for some people, they get very, very emotionally attached to things, and it's huge getting rid of stuff. Have either of you moved recently?
I dread it, the amount of stuff that I've got.
There you go, Gary the hoarder. We know. Yeah, it's stuff, but it means something to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all got an emotional attachment to it and a memory. And then imagine just like somebody, you go into somewhere sterile and it's like, well, who am I then? Because it took you that lifetime to collect it. So these are all things that we need to be mindful of for people, and understand this, you know, that it is hard for them to let go of stuff. So, but nowadays, because we have the cameras on our phones, we can take pictures of it, so that people can still feel that attachment. That is the beauty of that. Instead of just like going, no, strong arming somebody, no, you're living here now, just a little suitcase, and that's it. It's all you got.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, can you imagine, can't you?
Yeah.
I know they
Absolutely.
might forget, but we also will know that what do we mostly remember still when you have a neurocognitive disorder. You remember the younger bits, so you might be able to. I remember when my grandma had it, she used to call me all the little names that of all the little kids that she knew when she was in her 20s. So that was my name. She, she'd forgotten my actual name, but I was called all these other kids,
Yeah.
but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So so we take away all of those memories. It's like, well, what am I? But it's
My mom took care of her sister Anne,
Mhm.
because there was, huge age difference, and she took care of her young sister Anne. So she would call me Anne all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
She got me mixed up with Anne.
yeah. And maybe that was why you were called Carrie Ann.
No, I was named after my grandmother's.
Oh, were you? Oh, excellent.
Anne's mother was named Anne too. My mother's
Yeah,
mother
yeah.
was named Anne, and my Carrie was my father's mother's name.
Oh, there you go. So you got them both.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, so people get mixed up, but it's still in that bit where there's love, you know. So it's and they know it's okay, and so it is okay, just a bit confused, and it doesn't matter. But it's so yeah, so let's think, what else might we want to have, I suppose, a good taxi, yeah,
Yeah.
hospitals,
Uber, taxi. Yeah.
Uber, yeah, or as
We have an organization called People Who Care here. And they are an organization that has like drivers and stuff that'll come and get the elderly.
nice. Okay, so you would have that number there to
Yeah.
pass on to other people.
Yeah.
What about you, Gary? Is there like some churches or people that do nice things?
Well, certainly the hospitals have volunteer drivers and things for appointments.
Yeah.
So that I know we have. We do have a local bus service here, a hopper bus just in Farnham, where you can actually book it. I think it's about two. It's only about £2 for a journey into town, but you can book it to actually sort of pick you up and drop you at certain locations, like in town,
Nice.
and stuff, which is quite good.
Yeah.
Taxis are extortionate here, and Farnham, bizarrely, we don't have Ubers. The council won't allow them.
No, it's funny, isn't it? They're not allowed in some places. It's taxis
I mean, we
only.
can get them in Guildford and sort of around here, so I can get Ubers from other places to here, but I can't get an Uber here to go somewhere else.
No, no, I know. Tis most peculiar. But so it'll be that kind of thing. Again, people just want to know who else, like maybe there's the Rotary, maybe there's some other charities, things that they could join. Do we call it Rotary or the Lions Club in England?
I think there's both.
Yeah. So there's,
We have both too.
yeah,
The
nice.
Rotary and the Lions Club.
Yeah. So that actually they can, have an outing with whoever and actually go and join in. They might just sit there, but it's stuff going on. I know not everybody wants to go out. I know they don't like it. But if they are a person who used to go out, and if they start doing it still early enough on, then there's always enough other people who might also have a neurocognitive disorder. And then they can all make new friends, It's that whole thing. They just can sit together and they're, oh, it's you, they just will remember the feeling of joining in. And it's might not remember what happened, might not remember what they had to eat. Doesn't matter, because when they're in their moment, they will remember the feeling of it. So the next time it's like, oh, we're going to that. Oh, okay. And they will go. So when somebody first just go, now we need to bring them into the community. It's not about moving away from the community. It's about going towards the community and joining in. And because there will always be some stuff, just like your granddad, Gary, if he had gone, he probably might well have started leading it or something,
Yeah, I mean, he probably enjoyed it. Yeah, because we could talk about the war and that times and the old times between the wars and stuff like that. And he'd probably liked it, but yeah, his attitude now it's just full of old people. Why would I want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be now we would again encourage somebody to go with them and let's just see. And it's you know, we know full well what we'd do with Gary. We'd go, oh, we're going to a concert. You know, there's some people playing on at the pub. Let's go down there. And you go, yeah, great, music, live music. You know, we know that would you'd be happy with that. Yep, it's good. You know, so it's so true, you know. It's you know, it's like find out, that's why we get curious, find out about the person and what they like and what you know, what floats their boat. But most people like people and want to belong. And all you have to do is have that, I think I said this before, is like on the back of a card, you can tell, you know, on the back here, just say, my the person I am with, my you know, my companion has dementia. People still don't, sadly, understand cognitive neurocognitive disorder, but you can just say to everybody knows what that is, dementia. Please, I'll be grateful for your compassion, you know, your understanding and patience. Yeah, okay. And then so you go along to the light, you know, if you're new to it as well, then they'll probably know, if they're the leader, they'll probably know somebody else and they'll introduce you, you know. And then it's like, and then the care partner's made a friend, and it's just good. So it's good to get out and back into the community as well when somebody has first got a neurocognitive disorder, because that's hopefully when we might find out. Unfortunately, not at stage 6. There's not very much I can do. I mean, I could help the care partner, I can help them, but and I've, you know, suggested they, you know, download my other stuff. It's like it will help, but I can't help the person living with dementia already because they're at stage 6.
Yeah.
You know, the next one is, you know, it's yeah, she's already confused. And if you could bring me into the equation, it's like, well, who's that? You know, funny English accent. Although she might like it, but if he won't have me in. The husband, he wouldn't dream of it. And that's,
you might be afraid to go in yourself.
yeah, well, I'd go
you
with the whole family. I'd go, if I
Right.
did it, it'd be with the whole family.
Family, yeah.
But it's so I could still suggest that, you know, the sister, you know, everybody, and then it's like, and then the dad just has to behave.
Yeah.
But it's, we all know you leave, and it's what goes on behind closed doors. Always.
Yeah.
So it's and you know, that can be very scary indeed. So now again, there's music, wonderful, you know, I've already mentioned that's where we'd take Gary, find out, but there's often some bands and music and, you know, things that are going on. Just find out. So I'm just trying to think of other things. So it might be handy actually to also have, say, on hand, a kind roofer, an electrician, a plumber. Now, why would you want to know those things? Because you know they're not going to rip somebody off.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have somebody that you know, that you trust, and you will say, and you say, I'm, you know, and then so you can legitimately give them somebody who is who will not take their money and not do the job. We've all heard of the cowboy stories, you know, and same with a lawyer. Having a good somebody who can you know, make, because there's so many when people have to get the what's it called? Thing in your name.
Their trust,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can't believe
the
I forgot.
family
Power of
trust,
attorney, that sort
no,
of stuff.
Power of attorney.
power of attorney.
Yeah, I knew it would come. Isn't it funny when I do this and I forget things? I think it's really quite amusing. And therein we have to bring in humor.
Yeah,
We have to laugh at ourselves because we have to remember that we all forget stuff.
yeah.
Okay. And actually, did you know that the more doors you go through, if you have to, if you right, say if you're in your office, like I'm now, and then I've got to go through another door and I've got to go to my bedroom to get something. By the time I've got through to my bedroom, I've forgotten what it is. The more doorways you go through, the more you forget.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Fact.
yeah. So actually, it's like, so I have to sometimes go, remember. That's what I want. So power of attorney, yeah, get a nice, good, decent one that again isn't going to rip you off, that and that then if anything awful happens again, they can be called. Again, we've got insurance, life insurance. People need to have life insurance in place, and I think you can get life insurance if you do have if you haven't got it already and then you get a neurocognitive disorder, I think you can get one. It won't be, it will obviously the premium will be quite high, but you can still get one. So it's just about making sure that you're covered and that you have as many good resources as possible. Because do you go networking, Carrie-Anne? Do you know quite a few people who are helpful? Yeah,
Actually, I do. And we even have people that advocate for people who need help, that will help find a home and some of these other things for people.
nice.
That's their business. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Is they do that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, Gary. Did you go networking in England?
No, I mean we do it the old-fashioned way, don't you? You go and ask in the pub.
Okay.
You ask the landlord or somebody in the pub, and they always know somebody. I mean,
Sure,
I know from the pub, electricians and removal
sure.
people and lawyers and stuff just through drinking in the pub. So,
Yeah.
There's but you know what? I mean, in England, there's less and less pubs now.
yeah.
And it's just where you are, but not in all places in England.
Yeah.
That will have such a nice tight-knit community like that.
Mm.
Why is there less pubs?
They're all going bust. They're all going broke.
Oh, they're going broke.
Yeah.
Well, in this little town, it's quite an amazing town. They call it everybody's hometown, actually. There has to be one more church than there is a bar or a pub. And so we have a place called around the town square. One of the streets is called Whiskey Row, and there's a lot of pubs and old bars and stuff like that. In fact, I think there's been movies in some of them. Some of
I was
the
going to say the old saloon doors.
Yeah, we do have a place called the Saloon,
Oh,
and actually, there have been movies that have been made in that saloon. But that was a law put in a long time ago, and you always have to have one more church then. So we have lots of churches. You would probably like it here, Gary.
Yeah. Well, where
There's
I am
lots
here,
of lovely
I've
pubs.
lived in this village 30 years, and when I moved in, I think there was 12 pubs, and we have two now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
yeah,
And one has very limited hours.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Are they serving food?
No, my real local one has stopped doing that because they're of retirement age. I mean, they used to have a very, very busy restaurant, And you know, the Sunday lunches, it was quite a small place, but Sunday lunches, I think they do about 140 covers for a Sunday lunch.
Yeah.
And they're always busy sort of Friday and Saturday nights. But they always wanted to do the stuff themselves. And they're both sort of in their about sort of 63-ish now. And he was ill for a while, so they've actually closed the restaurant and converted that into living accommodation. So now they've just got a very tiny beer only bar. They've got a pizza machine, so they'll do pizzas, and that's the only food that they do. Uh, and they've just got a very tiny little bar, and it's known as a local sort of beer bar. But their hours are very limited. I mean, like they don't open at all on Mondays, so that's why I have to walk downtown. Tuesdays they're open from 5 till 8. Wednesdays and Thursdays is 5 till 10. No, sorry, it's five till 9 on Tuesdays, 5 till 10 on Wednesdays, Thursdays, 5 till 11 on Fridays, 5 till 9 on Saturdays, and I think 2 till 8 on Sundays. That's it. That's their only hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so yeah, everywhere's closing, but again, that'll be a community place for people. And you know, and it's a hub, you know, it becomes people's other home, their lounge, their safe place, their whatever
Yeah,
it is for them.
and as you know, in England, you get all sorts of walks of life, and that's why you can meet the electricians and whatever. Early doors
Sure.
we have the painters and decorators and the electricians and the plumbers and we also have lawyers. We've got airline pilots there and all sorts of walks of life, and we all interact exactly the same. I mean, an English pub, everybody's the same level.
Yeah.
Which is quite funny. So you'll talk to the electrician and you'll talk to the airline pilot, and they're both exactly the same, and they'll
Yeah.
take the same amount of Mickey taking, or taking the piss, as we call it. And we
Yeah.
refer to the airline pilots as the bus drivers. So
Yeah, it's fun. It's and yeah, because it's this English sense of humor, but
yeah,
it's about finding that place that people, remember, and remember who they are when they go there. But if somebody is say just moved to a new area, then they need to start getting out. They need to start making those connections. It's really important because it's communication.
Yeah.
All about that. Okay, so if you haven't already got it, get it, and just have this.
I'm gonna go get it right now.
And it is a very
Okay.
it's an easy read. It's got case studies in it, and it's yeah, I think you'll find it fascinating. And like I say,
What was his first name? I know it's Dr. Nightingale.
Daniel
Daniel.
is actually from Lancashire. I know. I must get in touch with them. Actually, I must do a couple of videos with him for here, because it would be useful. Okay, I will see you next week. Any questions?
yeah, I might not be about next week because, of course, I'm going to be in Detroit. So
Oh yeah.
obviously it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. As I've not been to Detroit, I might well be out sightseeing.
Oh yeah, no, you got to go do that.
That's where I didn't live in Detroit, but the greater area. As I was telling you, my husband worked
Yeah,
downtown.
I've never been, but I'm flying there tomorrow.
They've
Safe
done a
travel.
lot of refurbishing. It really had, gone down a lot, and they're redoing a lot of neighborhoods and stuff like that to,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think you'll like it.
I know
There's
nothing
a
about it.
lot to do there.
Yeah, I'm there at a conference Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm
Where
presenting.
are you staying? Where is it?
It's called the Hollywood Greek Town Hotel and Casino.
Oh, you're going to be down in Greektown.
Yeah, is that good or
Oh,
bad?
well, that'll be fun. That's a downtown area. That'll be a lot of fun. And I think
Okay.
there's several casinos and stuff around there too.
Yeah,
I'm going to
is it?
stop the recording now, but we can stay on.